So we were actually worried that he was going to pass, and that was really stressful. But we are just grateful that he's here with us. And honestly, Cardio Miracle has kept him here with us.
It's an important day for me and for him, obviously, because in our family history, I never thought that we'd get to this point, him being 73. And I talk about it all the time, and so happy that my dad is still around.
My dad is a great performer. He's just so great with people, charismatic, darling. And I say this to everyone, you'll just love him if you meet him.
I think a lot of our energy comes from my dad. He's so charismatic. He's the best. I love his love for music. Tonight, hearing him sing.
Spreading joy is a John Hewlett trait. I mean, he just, wherever he goes, people feel better about themselves.
One thing that everyone will remember if they knew John, when he had a passion, he went with it like to the next degree, the highest degree.
John is absolutely the most loyal friend one could ever have. He's completely dedicated to the welfare of the people that he's trying to serve.
Every single time, like anything big happens in my life, he's the first person to text me and congratulate me.
So this is a decade of him sticking around. For the impossibility of him still here is a miracle. And that's why Cardio Miracle is the thing that we can't stop talking about.
Woo! Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cardio Miracle live question and answer session with me, David, and our Vice President, Josh Hewlett.
Welcome. Thanks so much for having me, man. This is really fun. I'm really stoked that we got to see that video. I haven't seen it in a long time. So it was cool to see the blast from the past just like a year ago. That was wild.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're not familiar with the way that we run this, we're going to do it a little bit different tonight. We sent out an email that lets you guys ask your questions in advance. So we have quite a few questions. We're going to try to get through as many as possible. If there are redundant questions, just try to listen for the answers, and we'll try to answer them as best as we can. We are not doctors. We are just answering this based off of, product knowledge as well as experience from the product and testimonials that we've received from the product. And we do have a few studies as well that you can look up. cardiomiracle.com/studies. All right. I guess we can just start with the first question, Josh, if you're ready.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So Neil Turner wants to know, he says he's a 90-year-old, and I'm going to summarize this. He's basically tried different forms of nitric oxide from sublingual to buccal or I'm going to mess the word up, but there's other ways you can absorb into your body, the bioavailable forms. And he's asking basically, where's the question at? He wants to know why. He says, I've been taking Cardio Miracle daily for several years now, and I wonder why we don't highlight the benefits of mucosal absorption.
Well, we can right now. So that is one of the main reasons why it's a powder and it's in liquid form, is because everyone, a lot of people ask us about putting it in a capsule, and the reason is the absorbability. So when you drink Cardio Miracle, you begin to start creating nitric oxide immediately. And then because it doesn't live in the saliva, it lives in the blood. Nitric oxide lives in the blood. It gets down to your stomach and starts creating more nitric oxide. So that is one of the main reasons why going down your sublingual pathway to make sure that we have the two different channels of how Cardio Miracle generates and sustains nitric oxide. How else would you describe that, David?
Yeah, I would just say that sublingual is ideal for high absorption and high bioavailability. You're still going to get the buccal, and you may still get some mucosal, but the sublingual is very, very high, and that's what we really like to focus on. You can keep it in the back of your cheeks, and it will also help absorb as well. But they say that's just a more consistent, slower absorption compared to the sublingual pathway. So we highlight that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it helps people with their dental health as well, their dental hygiene. So if you swish it before you swallow, then it's going to help with any kind of receding gums, or if you have bleeding after you brush, it's going to help with that as well.
Great. All right, so we have the next question from Miriam. She says she likes our product, and the question is, she's not really a sports person, and it must be helping a lot. And do I need to take a full serving? Question mark.
It really depends on how she's reacting to it. You know, with people with like an existing heart condition or an existing kind of blood pressure problem or something, we do suggest to start slow and kind of ramp up, just depending on how you react. You know how sensitive you are to certain uh, therapies, so to speak. And so yeah, I mean, I personally I go all in. Obviously, I dry scoop it and I take a swig of water so I can get it immediately, or I just drink it all day like this. This today is like my fifth scoop today. So it depends on how well your body reacts to it. But you can start slow, you can ramp up, or you can go all in depending on how sensitive you are.
Yeah, and to kind of answer that question, we see that the 2 servings a day is very good for therapeutical use. So if you're trying to make those radical changes within your health, we definitely implore you to take extra or take the 2 at least. If you're just trying to maintain a vitamin threshold, then the half a serving might be okay to take if that's your only goal. Then it's a good way to meet that goal because we are bioavailable, synergistic, and whole food sourced. So we're kind of hard to beat as just a multivitamin as well.
Oh yeah, and I'd like to add to that too, David. That more times than not, I've been in this company since 2014 when we started, and most people come to us and say, I wasn't really feeling much with the one scoop, but I decided to do what you guys suggest, which is on the packaging at 2 servings a day, and everything started to open up for me. Like I started to feel it, I started to really see a benefit, and the ailments in my life were going away, and the 2 servings was the ticket. So it really, the we suggest the 2 servings, but we just want the good, better, best situation. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, that leads into our next question. Carl wants to know if it's okay to take 3.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of questions surrounding serving size. So really, again, that is going to be up to you. So I myself, I'm not bragging here, but I've been up since 3 a.m. I start every day 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And this is the first thing that goes in my stomach on a fasted stomach. And then I do my 20 minutes of HIIT cardio on my Peloton, and then I go to the gym and I lift weights. And so yeah, that's why I'm on 4 or 5 or 6 scoops a day. So it really depends on how active you are, how big you are. I'm not. I was telling David before we started, I'm 6'3", 280 pounds, and so I'm not going to take the same as my children's mother, who's 5'3", 110 pounds soaking wet. So she's gonna take what she needs, and I'm gonna take what I need. And so it just depends on how you're feeling on it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we can move on to the next question. Miguel, my father has acidosis. He's 76 and he has kidney failure stage 4. Creatine is 2.4 and EGFR is 26, pH 7.2. Can Cardio Miracle help him? Stage 4 kidney.
Okay, so yeah, so that is right. So body fluids linked to low blood pH levels. Okay, so yeah, what the nice thing about, sorry, I just had to Google that because I've not actually heard that term before. So with nitric oxide therapy, if you will go to cardiomiracle.com/studies and read our studies and see what we suggest and what we've shown with our studies, is that nitric oxide is the greatest regulator of all time and the greatest natural regulator of all time. And so as your father's taken it, as you were taking it, as anyone's taken it, it is going to help to balance out and to regulate any problems that anyone has. And that's what we've seen just through having 20,000 plus customers, and seeing that it is the master regulator of any kind of situation like that.
Yeah, it's really good for kidney function. It's definitely good to consult with a doctor, especially if you have labs and because there are sometimes specific things with acidosis that you don't want to put in your body. So you can take the product into your doctor and say, hey, are all these products good? Because it is whole food sourced. It just really just depends on the doctor and how knowledgeable they are on nutrition. Again, it's kind of see how you feel on it.
Yeah, I would definitely in this kind of situation, I would start your father out slow and ramp up and see how he reacts to this. And so, just to make sure, because some of these these whole foods in our product, they can, some could be have a little acid and whatever that would create more acid in your stomach and whatnot. And so, I would definitely, definitely ramp that up and see how he's feeling on it, for sure.
Yeah, but overall, our whole foods, they are alkaline rich, especially the greens. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
we definitely know it's going to improve blood flow and kidney function overall.
Yeah, yeah, definitely help regulate that out for sure.
All right. So the next question is he just wants to know if there's a more advanced place within YouTube that he can find more knowledge.
You know what I've been doing when I need to find it real quick is I go to YouTube and I type in Cardio Miracle John Hewlett, and everything pops up. Man, we've had 3 or 4 different YouTube channels that we've had to kind of shut down and move away from, and still there's some archive videos in there that are amazing. We have hundreds of testimonials all over the place. We had to scrap a lot of our testimonials that were claiming to be kind of claimy, I guess, have some like big claims on it. And, whenever we have something with Dr. Judy, we got to be careful on YouTube and whatnot. But I would look that up. And then if you have a specific question about Cardio Miracle and what it can do, I would switch out Cardio Miracle for nitric oxide, and I would put it in ChatGPT or put it in Google. And there are over 200,000 studies on nitric oxide therapy and how it has helped people either helped or helped regulate or help cure. And they are certified. There are published studies all over the internet about nitric oxide therapy. So when people say, can Cardio Miracle help my blood pressure? I say, switch that with, can nitric oxide help my blood pressure? And that's the key for Googling.
Yeah, we are the best producer of nitric oxide.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Dolly wants to know, can I take Cardio Miracle before a fasting blood test?
Yeah, I mean, I have, and it was great, but I wear a glucose monitor, a glucose patch, and whenever I take my Cardio Miracle, there's nothing that's spiking on my glucose monitor or my glucose patch. And so it, from a standpoint of what I have done personally on myself after fasting for 18, 20 hours a day to lose 200 pounds, for me, it didn't take me out of a fasted state. But some have argued with me that it does spike, and it just depends on the body. Everybody's different. So for me, it didn't.
Yeah, and overall, I think it can be good to get a baseline blood test without Cardio Miracle, just to kind of see the worst case scenario, because Cardio Miracle may improve some of those scores kind of temporarily. So especially if it's a blood test where they tell you not to even drink water,
Yeah.
just to get the baseline,
Oh,
and
for
then
sure.
take one with the Cardio Miracle and see the difference, or just continue to get those baselines.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one.
Anastasia wants to know. She just wants to know how she can join the live every Tuesday. Well, it is every other Tuesday, and if you sign up for the email, there's also a recurring that should be available to sign up for.
Yeah, and we'll send out text messages reminding you to sign up and register. But yeah, it is every other weekend or every other week, and we're always here. We very consistent. So. And we had a good comment in here, David, about the book No More Heart Disease. It's written by one of the Nobel Prize winners, the Nobel Prize of Medicine, who won the Nobel Prize of Medicine for discovering nitric oxide and it's Dr. Louis Ignarro. And man, I'll tell you what, if somebody gets that book on Amazon, we don't make any money by promoting that book, but that is like my nitric oxide Bible, is learning about where they found nitric oxide, how they discovered it. It's amazing. So I would definitely suggest anyone go on Amazon and look that one up. No More Heart Disease by Louis Ignarro. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good book. It's how I learned a lot of my base knowledge.
Heck yeah.
All right, Patricia, is the effectiveness of the 2 daily doses of Cardio Miracle augmented or negated depending on the time frame in which they are consumed? Is it more advantageous taken further apart, for instance, upon rising in near bedtime, or one in the morning, one in the afternoon, or both servants taken together? I know that one must be mindful of a proxy to protein consumption, but do any other factors have a measurable effect on its usefulness to the body?
Good question. With taking it on a fasted stomach, we have actually proven, if you go to those cardiomiracle.com/studies, we've proven the vitamin D study that it will essentially triple your vitamin D level on a fasted stomach. So is that a benefit? Yes, that's a massive benefit. But you can also, like, people do take it throughout the day, but like I have 2 servings in here. So, I like it more tart myself. And so I like to take 2 servings at a time. And that's just what I do. But it really depends on how tart you like it. And, some people forget. I don't forget because I like it. And some people, say it's a chore to take, and other people really appreciate it and really enjoy taking it. So how do you take it, David?
I do actually a serving and a half in the morning now with a little bit of electrolytes, and then second serving I usually take around 3 o'clock when I'm tired. I still notice the benefits for sleep. Some people like to take it closer to bed. But as long as you get those 2 servings in within the 24 hours, it doesn't really negate or otherwise. Again, like you said, the only difference is going to be the protein.
Yeah, good point. And I put 10 grams of creatine in mine first thing in the morning, and at the gym, it's like gives me an incredible pump. So that helps.
All right. Susan wants to know what type of artificial sweetness is used in Cardio Miracle. This is similar to a question that I passed a little bit earlier too. So I'm just combining.
Yeah, there's not easy. There's no artificial sweeteners in there. We sweeten with organic stevia, and I guess you could say organic monk fruit, because the monk fruit that we use does not have any of the what is that sweetener we used to have?
Erythritol.
Monk fruit usually is derived from erythritol, and so we don't have any erythritol in it. We don't have any artificial sweeteners. People say they can taste an artificial sweetener sometimes, and they're tasting the monk fruit. But we put the monk fruit in there to help the aftertaste of the organic stevia. So, and then don't forget, we do have over 50 whole and organic fruits and vegetables like watermelon and other things like that. So
yeah, and then you're gonna get less than a gram of sugar naturally occurring from those fruits and vegetables as well. And yeah, I've tried other stuff with stevia that's not organic, and that's when I get that diety aftertaste. I don't get it with organic stevia, so I think it's just the way that it's processed that causes that taste.
Sure, it kind of bloated too,
Yeah. Okay. Blair wants to know, is it okay to take additional supplements with Cardio Miracle, such as butyrate, at the same time? Additionally, can I take it? I'm supposed to take it on an empty. Am I right in thinking I'm supposed to take it on an empty stomach?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just a preference, the other supplements that I take some omegas. I take some extra magnesium, and yes, I do take it with the Cardio Miracle. And what it has done for me personally is I used to spend $800 to $1,000 on supplements every month, and I've cut that in more than half, and so now I'm spending about maybe $150 a month on additional supplements. But yeah, anything that you can take, we just say just separate it from protein. So as long as like some people ask me a lot. My sister asked me a lot about taking, what is that? That thing you put on your skin, and I can't remember. It's like a coconut based, but it does have a little bit of protein in it. And so I told her not, to separate it about 20 minutes. And,
Collagen.
Sorry?
Collagen.
Yeah, collagen. I'm sorry. Yeah. So collagen, that is a very good question. So yeah, it depends on if it has protein in it or not. And if it does, we say to separate it 20 minutes.
Great. All right. Perfect. Margaret wants to know, I have a subscription. Can I get individual packets instead of one big envelope?
Yes. Yeah. Just call the number that's plastered all over the packaging, 1-800, I think it's, what is it, 663?
0158.
Yeah, 663-0158, and call them and they can help you, or any one of our advocate or our what do you guys called, you guys are called the proteges, or you guys what do you guys call that Mike calls you? I can't remember. I'm sorry. He says that your concierge, all the concierges like David and Kristen, they can all help you as well with that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. There's a good question. Cavett, is Cardio Miracle an anti-inflammatory? What should I avoid before undergoing surgery?
Absolutely. So I've been educated on this from John, from my father. He suggests that if people are having major surgery, to take a little break from Cardio Miracle so that they can go in, they can do the surgery, and then post surgery, and when you're recovering, that's when you start taking it again, so it helps with recovery. And so, yes, it is it helps with inflammation. Absolutely, it helps with that. But he suggests that about 48 hours before you go in for surgery, to stop Cardio Miracle and then start again when you're out, so you can start healing a lot faster.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. Indra wants to know, does Cardio Miracle help with diabetes?
Again, Google, does nitric oxide help with diabetes? That's the best question you could ask. And I guarantee you'll find millions of results, and you'll probably see a couple thousand articles in there that could be linked to nitric oxide helping with diabetes. I've been bold enough to read and see on Google that actually nitric oxide has helped people reverse type 2 diabetes. And with type 1 diabetes, it helps keep the blood sugar regulated longer, so you don't have to do as many insulin pumps during the day. So that's what I've read out there.
Yeah, and we have had lots of reports of people saying that it helps balance their insulin levels, and it does help with the symptoms of neuropathy because it's going to increase blood flow. So it's definitely helpful for people with diabetes. Not sure if we know the answer to this question. Wolfgang wants to know if our alpha lipoic acid is type S or R. He says S is synthetic, so I'm assuming that's not what we have. I'm pretty sure R, which is known to reduce neuropathy pain. We don't
know that, actually. Yeah, it is R. Yeah. So everything that we use is derived from a whole organic fruit or vegetable, and so no, we don't have any synthetic products we don't have any synthetic raw ingredients in our product, and that's why we've definitely drawn a big thick line in the sand to make sure that, people ask us why we're not in retail, people ask us why we're not in Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, all that stuff, and the reason why is because they will they'll take the product and make a bigger profit margin, and they will take out the ingredients and cut corners. And so we don't do that. John Hewlett, my father, has made a strict commitment that he won't wane from to make sure that we don't ever compromise that with Cardio Miracle.
Great. Yeah, I should have read the whole question first.
Yeah.
Dale, does Cardio Miracle assist with reducing plaque in the blood vessels?
Another one that we do have to say, if you'll Google that question, then switch Cardio Miracle with nitric oxide. And it has been shown that nitric oxide does help. It does help with the vasodilation, and it does help reduce any kind of plaque in the arteries and the veins. Because what nitric oxide does is it's going to help. It's going to help and melt, so to speak, the plaque, and so it's going to melt or even evaporate. It's not going to move it around so you have a stroke. It's going to just completely get it out of your system. It's unbelievable the way that it works. And again, if you go to our cardiomiracle.com/studies, you can read about all of our studies that we've had done and see what incredible results we've had with that from Mr. Tadeusz Malinsky, that I have to say rest in peace because he passed away, and I'm heartsick about it because he was such a great man.
Yeah, I actually have personal experience with this one. I had a 420 triglyceride score. I know that's like astronomically high. It's a town. I had a 250 cholesterol score, and I was able to get those both under 200, just barely under 200. But I believe that's a significant difference, and I did it with just Cardio Miracle. I don't take anything else. Sometimes I take probiotics. Really, the only thing I like to take is the electrolytes.
It's amazing, man. Love it. Love it. It's huge.
Okay, so I've been kind of the same question. It was a diabetes question.
Yeah, and I want to clarify that, we do have a lot of those questions that come in every other week about protein, about mixing it with collagen and things like this. You guys, the thing is that it's a good, better, best situation. So the best situation that you can use with Cardio Miracle is drinking on an empty stomach. Like literally, that is the best way that you can utilize it and get the optimal benefit from it. Some people can't take it on an empty stomach because they need like a little carb or something like that, a little banana or something like that, or a little piece of bread that will help soften the, just taking something on an empty stomach. I mean, I've been on nitric oxide therapy for over 15 years now, and so I'm very used to it. I've lost 200 pounds. I've eaten the craziest, crappiest food on the planet, and so I'm just saying, it's all gonna work. Cardio Miracle is always gonna work. It's always gonna generate nitric oxide. It just depends on how quickly. And so in our studies, we've proven that once it hits the tongue, you start creating nitric oxide within 0.3 of a second. And then when it gets in your system, it sustains for 24 to 36 hours. And so with that, that's going to be on an empty, fasted stomach. And so if you do mix that with some protein or whatnot, it would just take a little bit longer to start generating. And so it's all going to work. It just depends on how long and how effective it is. That's all. So it's not going to combust and hurt you. So.
You answered actually a couple questions there, so we're gonna.
I thought I cleared some of the board. So
yeah. Anna wants to know if her 15-year-old daughter, she's an athlete, and she's wondering if it would help her.
Yeah, it will help her recovery. Certainly, it will help her lactic acid buildup. If she's a soccer player, softball player, baseball player, basketball player, whatever, it's going to help all of that, and it's going to help her with her endurance. Like with me personally, it's really helped with my VO2 max. I don't know if many people know about the VO2 max, but it has really helped me to be able to run longer, faster, get on my Peloton and bust out a 45-minute HIIT session or whatnot. And you wouldn't catch me doing that. Like unless I was being chased by a bear or something, you know. So in the past, and so yeah, Cardio Miracle is going to help everybody with a 15-year-old because she's active. Then yeah, I would start with 1 scoop, see how she feels, and then if she wants to be more active and run harder, go longer, you know, have more of a have more oxygen, then that's going to help her. She can take more, and but I would start slow with a 15-year-old.
Yeah, it's basically like some of the pre-workouts out there, but without the detrimental stuff to your health like caffeine and beta alanine. So, but we do add the antioxidant. So as long as you are used to the product and you're not detoxing, it can be used as a pre or a post workout. It'll be helpful in both manners.
Yeah, yeah, and you're not going to get a nice and flush. I mean, people are asking me why they're not itching behind the ears, they're not itching on their forehead, and that would be what's called the nice and flush. We used to have niacin as one of the ingredients in here, and now it's the niacin is derived from one of the other ingredients, and so it's a smaller amount, and so you're not going to have that flush like people used to have with our you know, 6th or 7th iteration, whatever number we're on. So,
Exactly. All right. Terry, this is an interesting one. I keep hearing that vitamin D is rat poisoning and is very toxic to the human body. So what's up with that? What do I believe?
well, vitamin D comes from the sun, so you know it depends on if people are selling supplements, if they're trying to get others to take it. I think the rat poison or the mold or whatever, maybe other ingredients, maybe you're mixing up. I'm not sure. But with vitamin D, I can confidently say, after I've Googled it actually, that they say more than 3/4 of the world are deficient in vitamin D, which is kind of crazy. And so, if there's a good way that people can get it, then why wouldn't you do it? You know. And so the fact that Cardio Miracle has been proven, again, if you go to Cardio Miracle /studies, you can read our vitamin D specific study on atherosclerosis and vitamin D, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. If you read that and you have questions, shoot me a personal email at josh@cardiomiracle.com, and we'll discuss it in depth if you want to. I mean, I would love to, because my vitamin D was super low, and I've brought it to an optimal level because of Cardio Miracle. So it's something that I would never give back.
Great. No, it's a great answer. Vitamin D is amazing for you.
Yeah, the happy drug. Yeah.
So,
Donna's got a question. Let's see. Are you still going to have the electrolyte product coming out soon? And yes, we have a PO in there, so a purchase order in for that product. I don't have specifics as to when we're going to get it out, but I do know that it is coming. And Donna also asked, do I take any additional vitamin D? And I don't. I used to take an additional tablet under my tongue, and I didn't re-up on that. So I used to take that, and now I'm good with my vitamin D levels. And then I just saw another one come in, another question. I've been taking it for over 2 years. My triglycerides are around 100. David, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, that's amazing. So that's the numbers are up for dispute. Like, is a 150 cholesterol score good, or is a 180 better for longevity? You know, that's kind of up for debate. You can use your own personal feelings on that, on where they should be. But a 100 triglyceride score sounds amazing.
Yeah, and it's just like with blood pressure. You know, people say your blood pressure it's only healthy if it's what is that, 120/80 or whatever they say, or 140. And so it's like that is, I mean, we just redid the whole food pyramid. So, you know, we've essentially been kind of lied to for a long time. And so, you know, my blood pressure is always been at 106/60, and that for me is good. That's great for me. Like I've never had a problem with blood pressure, but when I was almost 500 pounds, my blood pressure was what was it? 190. It was 190 over 110, and so yeah, that was super high, and that was my problem. I'd be sluggish. I couldn't have any energy. And now that I've been taking care of myself since 2021 and taking the product and doing, working out twice a day and waking up early, going to bed early, getting quality sleep, eating whole foods. Yeah, I've taken my health in my own hands and really made it work. So it really I wouldn't look too much into the numbers. I would just see how you feel and go from there personally. So
Great. All right, Miriam. We're going to come back around to Miriam's second question. A lot of questions kind of sound similar, but this is a little bit different.
sure.
I'll just do a couple more. I think I read somewhere, but I'm not sure. Is your Wonderful Cardio Miracle product inclusive of electrolytes that one would not need to separate a separate electrolyte supplement? Sorry.
No, it's fine. So right now we have over 50 ingredients of whole and organic fruits and vegetables, and the only thing that we do not have in Cardio Miracle are electrolytes at this time. And so that's why we are coming out with an additional product to put in the family of an electrolyte focused product. And so, yeah, that is going to have the BCAAs, it's going to have the electrolytes, it's going to have a little bit of salt, it's going to have a little bit of creatine. So it just depends on how much people feel like they need to couple the two together. But I do believe that they're going to go together famously because they're going to support each other so well. But David, you even say you added electrolytes to your product, right?
Yeah, I add electrolytes. Cardio Miracle does contain some. It has an inland sea salt blend, but it's not enough to be like a standalone electrolyte if that's what you're trying to replace. And we do also have the magnesium that an electrolyte would also have. So it is inclusive of it, but it's with electrolyte drinks, like somebody like me, like I need a lot more salt in that, the way my brain functions and my body functions. So if I can increase that with my Cardio Miracle, that's kind of the key for me. But specifically, no, there are some in there to at least cover your base.
Yeah, yeah, but we do suggest right now at this time that if you do want to supplement more with some additional electrolytes, that's smart. And like me, I over salt all my food right now because I'm in such a calorie deficit right now because I'm going from 280 down to 250. That's my goal, down to 250 pounds, and I've already lost 200 pounds. And so I'm looking at the science of how this all works instead of just working harder and harder and harder. I'm trying to be smarter and smarter and smarter so I can tweak my diet and tweak my workouts. But yeah, the first and foremost biggest piece of advice is to oversalt all my food so that I make sure I'm not cramping up during my workouts and holding a ton of unnecessary water in addition to what I'm doing. So.
Yeah, salt's really good for you. People think like, oh, sodium's bad for me. If it's a processed sodium without the other forms or minerals that come with salt, yeah, it can be, but most people are deficient.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
And it's a carrier for a lot of stuff like iron and all sorts of other minerals.
Yeah, yeah, it covers a lot of bases for sure.
So, all right, let's ask one more question. Let's find a good one.
And then I just want to, while David's looking at that, I want to throw out there that um, we do have a support line. It's called, if you'll email us, a support@cardiomiracle.com. That's a really good place where you can get your questions answered pretty specifically. You can call our 1-800 number, the 1-800-663-0158. All of our good folks, the salt of the earth out there in Moorebridge, South Dakota, would be willing to help you. And just know that they are not Cardio Miracle experts out there. They're just there to help you place orders and then direct you to the place where you can get the best answer for your question. And so a lot of people have claimed that we don't train them well, but we're one of 12 other companies that they represent, and so we just wanted to figure out who we could contract with, where they all speak English and they can all answer as many questions as they can about the ordering process. So that's the goal of Moorebridge, South Dakota, and the good people out there. So please don't give them too much of a hard time. So.
All right, here's our last question. We'll keep the user anonymous. Can Cardio Miracle be used for male enhancement?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of people joke with me all the time that they come into me and they go, "Hey Josh, we had our little Cardio Miracle baby." And so, yeah, it helps with, we have two of the same ingredients as Viagra has in it, which is L-arginine, L-citrulline. And, but the difference is the L-arginine, L-citrulline is supported by whole and organic fruits and vegetables, which is of the utmost importance to make sure that you're not going to be sexually active and essentially have an adverse effect on your heart while you're engaging with each other. So
Yeah.
that's the best way I can say it. So.
And I can give you a quick. So with nitric oxide or nitric oxide support supplement like Cardio Miracle, it's going to help naturally enhance the blood and the blood vessels so that you can do that naturally. With something like Viagra, what it's actually doing is going in and it's tricking your system to release all of your nitric oxide, whatever you have in the system. It's doing that by inhibiting an enzyme within the blood. And when that happens, you release all of it at once. And the next day, you will feel like you are hungover or you're tired because you've depleted all of your nitric oxide.
Wow.
So if you use the two together, just be aware of that side effect from Viagra. But if you take Cardio Miracle consistently, it's going to improve the blood flow and it's going to improve the facilitation of oxygen in the blood as well as the vasodilation. And those are all the key components that you work on.
Well said. Well said. That is great, man. And then one last thing I want to tease out that we have our podcast, The Pulse Beat. It is mostly on Rumble, but we're optimizing and monetizing our YouTube channel right now. If you just go on YouTube and you type in Cardio Miracle, you'll be able to find us. And one sec, we got one more question from Steve Morgan here. My wife is recently out of the hospital with AFib and tachycardia. She's on 13 new drugs. Blah, 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 blah. Can she take Cardio Miracle? So what we suggest with this is that because you're telling me the milligrams, the 2 times a day, like all of these, we would suggest bringing in the ingredient list that you can find on our website. The ingredient list you can find on your packaging. We would suggest bringing it into the doctor and asking this question: will anything in this product that are all whole and organic fruits and vegetables, will any of these hurt my wife? That would be the question that we would suggest you bring into your physician. And that is how I would suggest presenting it and saying, will any of these whole and organic fruits and vegetables will clash with any of these drugs that she's taking? And so I apologize if that's too general, but if your doctor wants to help you and wants to give you a real answer, then I would suggest, bringing that in and asking it that way.
So this is how I discovered Cardio Miracle, was tachycardias, 220 beats a minute out of rhythm. And how I was able to stop those tachycardias was drinking a glass of Cardio Miracle. Typically, I'd have to go to the hospital. I'd have to stop and restart my heart. And I was on blood thinners at the time, too. I was able to get off the blood thinners safely without any issues. They didn't help with my tachycardias, or I didn't have AFib. They're slightly different on the way that they're described. But if you're having a tachycardia, it shows that dysregulation. And nitric oxide is the key regulator within the cardiovascular system. So if you are having a tachycardia event, I implore you to take a glass of Cardio Miracle, 6 to 8 ounces of water, and drink it as quickly as possible. And it should regulate your heartbeat. It did every time for me. for the first 3 years that I had tachycardias, and then now I just don't have tachycardia. There's some times where I feel my heart kind of thump a little bit, and I'm straight to a glass of Cardio Miracle, no issues. So I haven't had any, and it's because I stay consistent on Cardio Miracle. And then when I have a flutter, I call it, I just drink an extra glass.
Yes, sir. Sounds wonderful. Well, thanks for your time. We appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Thank you so much. We hope that we got to as many questions as we possibly could. And please don't hesitate to send them on in, and we'll do the best we can with what we can get to. So, David, it's always a pleasure, man.
Thank you. It's good time.
Thanks, you guys. Have a wonderful night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.